When I heard that Flydigi was releasing the Apex 4, the only other controller I was familiar with was the Vader 3 Pro. Hearing the name Apex 4, I couldn't help but think of the Apex Predator, aka the Viper, Randy Orton. And I'm pretty sure everyone gets the Star Wars reference when they hear the Vader 3 Pro. The Apex 4 is a different animal in of itself, with its cool little screen and unique thumbsticks that snap back, unlike any other controller that I have seen. True, the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra is also a controller that has a command display or a small display inside, but the amount of problems that controller continues to have, it's just not something that I can personally recommend in good conscience. I mean, I had to send mine back because of all the connection problems that it had. So, now with all of that out of the way, let's get into the intro and get on with the review. The Apex 4 comes with a 1-year warranty, per the manufacturer's website. They also claim that the battery is a 1500 milliamp size battery that they claim can last up to 72 hours with a charge time of about 3 to 4 hours. Now, I haven't been able to completely drain the battery, but I will say it has lasted me at least, I would say, half a day from what I've played so far. Now, these types of Hall effect sticks are not your typical thumbsticks. They are the first adjustable alloy thumbsticks. So I've never heard of any other manufacturers actually make alloy thumbsticks in particular. From what Flydigi states, it's seamless force adjustment, strong centering without drift, and undersmooth pushing without friction. But if you're able to see underneath, these are definitely different than what you've seen from other thumbsticks, so the design, no doubt, is unique. So I mean, no one else but Flydigi has taken a stab at it. The controller itself is gorgeous, but it may be prone to scratches on the screen as well as fingerprints. Maybe around the surface area, but for me it's more the metal plate display area that can be prone to fingerprints and scratches, so be careful when you use the controller. The AX BY buttons are micro switches. They're very quiet and the travel distance is good enough without going too far deep in. And now we're going to the triggers. So the triggers themselves are also not too noisy from what you can tell. They also offer something that is called force feedback, which is similar to what PlayStation 5 has, just in a more simulated fashion. The trigger rumble strength can be customized in the PC software, which I'll show you later. Basically, you can make them feel like they are firing off a gun when you're holding the trigger, or when the car is sitting at idle mode, you can actually get the feeling that the car is shaking as you're waiting to drive when using the triggers. It's something that's really hard to describe on camera, but if you play the games, you'll definitely get the picture of what they really offer. I mean, to me, it's incredible what Flydigi did when it came to these force feedback controllers, and when you also compare it to Sony's PS5 controllers, the DualSense Edge and the DualSense Standard, I mean, they're almost as good. So, good job, Flydigi, on that. Now, let's take a look at a couple of additional accessories that I bought off Flydigi's store from AliExpress. First are the thumbsticks that ship in this little bag. Here are the thumbsticks. And hopefully, if I can show them to my hand, that they come in different lengths. So 2 pairs for each stick. These ended up costing me about $6, so not too bad. And here is the Flydigi controller case. It's actually pretty sturdy. You can hear the thickness. So you can put the controller there, and it fits a little bit snugly, but it's meant to also fit the Apex 4, from what they indicate. Then you can close it and snap it up. And the price for this was about $11. So the only thing I found a little bit disappointing was the mesh compartment was a little bit too wide. The wireless adapter probably wouldn't be able to fit in. You could probably, as you can see the wireless adapter here, but you probably fit it in here at the bottom. But if you take the controller, and it doesn't sound ideal because while you're taking it on the go, it might be shaking everywhere, unless you can put your controller in a secure place and not worry too much about it, basically banging around the controller. But other than that, it should be able to hold the regular cable fine. And I mean, all the accessories fit, except I would say the charging dock, which I did not purchase. Overall, I spent about $91 on everything for these accessories along with the controller. Not bad compared to Amazon's $159, which do not include the thumbsticks and do not include the case. But the one thing you do have with Amazon is their 30-day return policy, if problems were to ever pop up. So just keep that in mind. I mean, in my experience, if you have problems with AliExpress, they do help you out and they'll give you refunds. So I don't think either one's very risky, but it's up to you to determine which route is best for you. Personally, I don't mind AliExpress, but if you guys feel safer with Amazon, go for it. Now you also have a cool option to adjust the tightness of the thumbsticks by using a tool here that is stored inside the controller. But there's a couple things that you need to remove before accessing the tool. I would recommend removing the D-pad first. So, step one, next, remove the thumbsticks. And they can simply be pulled. Alright, and then next, remove the faceplate. The faceplate may take a little bit more to access depending on, or not. But yeah, and there's the faceplate. And yeah, from maybe what you can see, there's a few fingerprints in there, so keep that in mind. Now, the Vader 3 Pro faceplate does not fit because of the 2 additional buttons that are here. So keep that in mind. Another thing that comes with a controller, which is inside that I haven't shown yet, is a few more plates that you can actually remove. And it comes with kind of like a coin scratcher where you can make your own design, swap out by lifting this up and then taking it out, inserting the new label. So, and here if you can see the rumble features. So, but anyways, regarding the tool, getting back to the point. So here it is. And now when you actually put the tool here, be mindful with the plastic because you could scratch it. So hold it here and press and twist however much you would like. Me personally, I'm going to keep them stuck, but to the right is basically firmer and to the left is looser. Now just a quick little showing of how to install the thumbsticks. If you notice here, there are 2 slightly longer overhangs, I guess you could call it, and these overhangs plug in to the top and bottom holes here of the controller. So that way you make sure you install them correctly. And these are also compatible with other Flydigi controllers. They're meant to be universal. So I mean, I think that's really good that they offer so much flexibility. So, but yeah, a couple of examples of the different lengths. And to reinstall everything, put the tool back inside. There's a magnet, so it pulls it in. Next, put the faceplate. Automatically installs. Next, the aforementioned thumbsticks. You can choose whichever thumbsticks you prefer. I'll use the stock ones. Now, if you see here, there's a line on the D-pad with this rectangle, and there's this split right here. So the split is supposed to go there along with the rectangle, and then these two overhang legs go there. So that way you know that the D-pad is being placed correctly. And there you go, back to normal. The D-pad feels very responsive and clicky, but not spongy or smushy. It's actually great for fighting games, and you'll enjoy platformers with this easily. I find it way better than the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra. Now, as far as the back buttons, they're here, so looks like they're exactly the same setup as the Vader 3 Pro. My only wish is that these buttons would be here so you could access them with both your second and third fingers, just like the Victrix Pro BFG. There are 4 profiles that you can use for the back buttons, and you can either remap any of the buttons, including Start and Select, R3, L3, or they can also be used as macros. So there's a lot of flexibility to them. Now let's look at the RGB. Now the way to turn this controller on shows you back here, off on. Then you see the lighting and the logo appears as it does. So here you can see some of the lights are cycling through different colors. And when I mentioned before, you can see the motors through the ends of the controller. Additionally, you can add your own logo on the screen, which you can see later on the app. All right, and now we'll go with a run through of the little screen and how to operate it. So first, here is the home button. Sometimes you'll use this little circle button here, if you can see, for some select options depending on the screen. So first we hold it down, and then it pops up to this menu. So if you notice, it's in Chinese. In order to access it in English from this screen, press right 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Press A. From here, press down once, and then press A again. Then you have the option of English on the right. Hold it down again. Hold down the home button again. And as you can see, it says connect. Now it's in English. So let's go ahead and look at the connect menu. And here it says PC, Switch, iOS, Android, and more. You can select if you want X input or D input with the wireless dongle, also D input or X input in Bluetooth mode, switch mode, and flash play. When you have a certain mode chosen, if you decide you want to pair it to a new device, you would go to repairing, and it goes back to stock. Now, you go to button mapping. So, trig mode. You can use it to map your left or right trigger buttons to the back buttons. Button edit. Here are your buttons and M4 to M4, M3 to M3, and you can use this to map the buttons as you need. Turbo. Same, you can select which button you want to turbo, so if you play any shooting games, especially like Contra, Mega Man, Broforce, games like that, and that would be a very useful feature. And by the way, in order to go back to the previous menu, you press B. Oh, and here you have macro, if the option is available, but as you can see, it's not at the moment. You can also reset everything, and here you can test. It tells you here, hold the button to test. But right now there's no testing. But the fact that the option is there is nice. Oh, okay, and also now I gotta hold the circle button to exit. So that's one of the uses for that circle button. Here we go. Alright, now we have config switch, and this is what is considered as your profiles. So you can switch between your 4 profiles with these configurations. So similar to other games, one profile could be for first-person shooters, another for platformers, another for RPGs, and the 4th could be for platformers. Alright, settings. You have brightness. You can switch between 5 levels of brightness. 3 is stock. Vibrate, all the levels of rumble. And you see as I move through how much it shakes. So the more you move it, the more it shakes. Hibernate pretty much puts the controller to sleep. Language, English or Chinese. And then you can reset back to factory settings. And about, this tells you the controller's firmware version. There's a screen version, controller version, and what is here is the SI version. That's probably, although don't quote me on it, it might be the wireless adapter. So there's a rundown of the screen. Now we're going ahead and looking at the wired input lag for the Apex 4. And every time I've checked, this thing is fast. So let's go ahead and use the left thumbstick to cycle through. And look how fast that was, 0.86 milliseconds with a pulling rate of 1160 Hertz. Wow, that's amazing. Now we're looking at the circularity test of the Apex 4, and right now we're in wired mode and just seeing how good it goes back to its central location. Not quite close to 0.00002, but we'll use the circularity test, and as I'm circling the thumbsticks, the left gets a 6.8% average error and the right side gets 9.2%, which is pretty good. Now we're doing the input lag for the Bluetooth in X input mode, and from what I remember with the 8-bit do, it was about 10 milliseconds, maybe 9 depending. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this and see what results we get. And I'm still cycling through. This is not fast at all. And it's an average of 29.02 milliseconds with a pulling rate of 34.5 5 hertz. That is very slow for even Bluetooth. So we'll go ahead and see how good it is when it comes to using the wireless dongle. But as of now, wired is best. So now we'll go ahead and do the circularity test using the Bluetooth X input. And this one seems to be a little bit worse than the wireless dongle and wired modes as far as going back to 0. I mean, I tested it in Bluetooth mode as well, and same results. I didn't have any trouble going back to its center position. And now we're doing the circularity test and spinning both sticks slowly. We come up with the results of 6.6 average error on the left side and 9.2% on the right side. Not bad. Now we're taking a look at the input lag using the wireless dongle for the Apex 4. And as you guys saw with the Bluetooth, it was really slow. But we'll see if things pick up here. And using the left stick now to cycle through. And the results are a lot faster with an average of 0.87 milliseconds and a polling rate of 1146 Hz. Once again, really good. So you definitely want to play this in wired or wireless dongle mode. Now we're using the wireless dongle to look at the circularity test. And as you see me using the thumbsticks, they don't seem like they're edging as close to 0 in their centering position compared to the wired mode. But when I play the games, they had no problems going back to their centering position. So we'll go ahead now and do the circularity test for both sticks. And from what you can see in the results, the left side gets about an average error of 6.7% and right is 9.5%, which is once again good.
And I'll play Contra 3: The Alien Wars from Konami's Contra collection. Alright, and now I'll play some Street Fighter 6.
Let's get this mission started. Let me have some fun. Round 1. Fight.
Alright, now I will play Doom Eternal in party mode.
Dr. Hayden is just across the complex. This industrial campus was once the headquarters of the Resistance.
Good news for the faithful. This area is no longer secure. Evacuation protocol is in effect.
Now some final thoughts. I would like to give my cons and pros of this. So first, we'll start with the cons, namely, depending on the person, could be the weight. It wasn't mentioned previously, but it weighs 325 grams, so it is on the heavier side. Also, the screen and the silver plate, the plastic as well, is prone to scratching and smearing from your fingers. Additionally, when it comes to the back buttons, I would have preferred if you can have these buttons placed here, just like the Victrix Pro BFG. And then finally, for those that actually care, depending on the person, it does not come with a headphone jack. So if that's a big deal to you, then just keep that in mind if you decide to buy this controller or not. As far as the positives, I mean, the D-pad is damn good when it comes to playing fighting games, platformers, all the 2D stuff. Having the RGB effects, I wish they could be a little more customizable, but the fact that they're even incorporated is nice. The little screen here is very flexible, offers a lot. I think it's simpler than the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, and for me that's a good thing because I felt that Turtle Beach focused way too much on that screen compared to the controller as a package. I mean, that one needed more thumbsticks. It didn't have enough accessories for the price that it offered. And the XYAB button having micro switches is really nice. Travel distance is good. I mean, having the flexibility to adjust the tightness of these 3D thumbsticks, I think, is something incredible. I mean, I know the Xbox Elite 2 offers this feature, but the fact that these alloy joysticks just keeps it at a whole nother level that, I don't know, compared to Xbox, just can't even touch. So kudos to Flydigi for that. This is a controller that I definitely recommend. So, but if you really want to save the money, I would definitely say buy it directly from AliExpress. I know how some people have had different experiences with them, but if you've had positive experiences like I've had, I've actually never had troubles. literally, which is a big surprise. But they do have good return policies. Maybe not as good as Amazon when it comes to their 30-day return policy, but they do help out. So as far as the controller by itself, the price should be about $75 compared to Amazon's $160 price. So depending on what you prioritize more, like I said before, if you buy the controller, I really hope you enjoy it. So that's about it for this review. Hope you found it helpful. Till next time, thanks for watching and take care.